A series of shootings has put safety and security back on the minds of Temple students, officials, and the community. Good morning, you're watching Temple Update. I'm Haya Qubbaj. With these crimes happening near or even on campus, some students are concerned about their safety and what can be done to stop these crimes. Temple Update's Nate Stanley is live outside the Leo Corus Center with more on the first shooting and how Temple and its students are responding. Good morning, Nate. Thank you, Ryan. COVID-19 cases have continued to drop across our area. COVID rates in Philadelphia are relatively low this week at an average of 148 cases per day. This is a 17% decrease from 2 weeks ago. Temple University follows suit with only 66 active cases and a 2.4% positivity rate. Despite the decrease in cases, the pandemic is still ongoing as the world surpasses 6 million COVID-related deaths. And I'm Haya Qubbaj. Russian forces are regrouping and reorganizing to focus on the eastern side of the country after failing to capture the Ukrainian capital. Fighting is still ongoing in many port cities like Mariupol and is intensifying in smaller eastern cities. Now, as Russia retreated from Kyiv, they revealed something that may be disturbing to some viewers. Images and reports of mass graves and torture and civilian execution have been coming out of the suburb of Bucha, just a couple miles northwest of Kyiv. These attacks were mostly directed towards civilians, according to witnesses and Ukrainian army officials. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky addressed the United Nations Security Council Tuesday, recalling what he had seen when he toured the war-torn town. Adding to the confusion, a federal judge struck down the mask mandate for public transport Tuesday afternoon. The Justice Department filed to appeal against that ruling Wednesday night after the CDC said, quote, "It is necessary for public health." In response, SEPTA announced they would no longer require masks in stations or on SEPTA vehicles despite the city's mandate. Temple Update spoke to SEPTA riders to see how they feel about the change. Good morning, Taylor. That's right. I'm outside of Charles Library right now, where students will no longer need to wear a mask beginning this upcoming Monday. I spoke to students on campus to see how they feel about the updated mask guidelines. And while some are comfortable, others have expressed caution and concern over these upcoming changes. Take a look.
We've had a lot of false hope before, only to get the cases back up.
Freshman Kylie Sokoloff is one of several students who are skeptical about whether it's too early for Temple to be lifting its mask mandate in most campus spaces. According to a new mask guidance released by the university, masks will be optional in dining halls, the Leo Corus Center, residential halls, common areas, meeting rooms, and non-clinical office spaces. Masking will, however, still be required in classrooms or anywhere where in-person classes are taking place. Masks will also still be required in studios, labs, and inside shuttles, as well as in healthcare facilities. Senior Director of Health Services Mark Denise says this decision was made in part because attending classes is mandatory, whereas going to other locations around campus isn't.
Students, faculty, or staff, whoever it may be, who are at higher risk for severe disease, they still have to go to class, and they can't control that situation.
While some students are indifferent about the university's decision, some are anxious about its implications. Sophomore Jibril Mami worries these changes may lead to another surge in cases.
Like when you're going to remove masks, of course, the cases are probably going to rise.
With almost 98% of the Temple community vaccinated, some students are comfortable with not wearing masks. Freshman Daphne Wang says that though she feels comfortable with the change, she thinks we should continue to be vigilant.
I know there's so many different variants. I think we'll just kind of have to see what happens and then just keep getting tested.
While Temple is lifting its mask mandate for most campus spaces, the university is still urging students to take into consideration their own personal risks and decide for themselves whether they want to continue to mask up or not in all or certain situations. Reporting for Temple Update just outside of Charles Library, I'm Haya Qubbaj. Nate and Taylor, back to you. This past month has been particularly violent in the United States with several mass shootings. April started with a shooting at a concert in Dallas, injuring 15 and killing 1. The next night, at least 5 shooters opened fire in Sacramento, killing 6. A dozen people were shot the following weekend in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, resulting in 2 deaths. The following day, 10 people were shot and 19 others were injured in the Brooklyn subway shooting. Last weekend, 2 shootings in South Carolina injured a total of 18 people, and a party in Pittsburgh ended in 11 people shot and 2 teenagers dead. Just last night, Temple released an update in response to the increase in crime. The university announced a new security upgrade grant for landlords, increased patrols from TUPD and the Philadelphia Police Department around main campus, the creation of a new neighborhood watch program, and finally offering assistance to those trying to move within TUPD's patrol border. As reported, cases of COVID-19 are continuing to drop in both Philadelphia and here on campus. In Philadelphia, the 2-week average COVID positivity rate is down 42% with a 50% drop in hospitalizations. Here at Temple, there are an estimated 72 active cases among students and 5 among staff. The total positivity rate on campus stands at just under 3%. Temple students are rallying today at the Bell Tower to voice their support for LGBTQ+ and reproductive rights. This comes as several U.S. states debate abortion, LGBTQ education, and trans rights. The organizers of Socialist Alternative PHL will have an open mic portion for those attending.
Are the teachers safe enough to give us classes? Are all students able to take those online classes?
Yusuf Wasif is an international medical student who was visiting the United Arab Emirates when the invasion of Ukraine began. His classes have just returned online after over a month of the ongoing war. Many of Wasif's peers witnessed their university's destruction in the city of Kharkiv.
From the videos, they showed me walking down the streets of once was our beloved city. It just looks so messed up and destroyed, and it's just heartbreaking.
This destruction has made it even more difficult for international students to transfer to other universities.
So my transcripts are in the university, and for me to get access, I need someone inside the university to send them to me.
As many students escape to neighboring countries, some universities have temporarily waived the requirements of a transcript and are accepting applicants mid-school year. However, this help does not come without its challenges.
They don't know if my subjects corresponds with their syllabus of a third-year medical student studying, for example, in Poland.
Wasif believes that even if the region were to see some stability soon, education in Ukraine will still have a long journey until its recovery.
Maybe one day, after a couple of years and after a couple of attempts of restoration, I don't think even then it will go back to the way it was.
For more information on how you can help Ukrainian refugees and students abroad from right here on campus, be sure to check out our website at templeupdate.com. Reporting for Temple Update, I'm Haya Qubbaj. Back here in the U.S., the Biden administration and the House of Representatives have put a proposed ban on Russian oil, coal, and natural gas imports in response to the war in Ukraine. The president commented on how this could impact the high prices that have already been seen across the nation. The United States only imported around 8% of its crude oil from Russia and no natural gas. Europe is much more reliant on Russia, importing 47% of its natural gas and 25% of its crude oil. And Maggie Fitzgerald is in the Weather Center to tell us if we'll be seeing showers or sunshine in the weekend forecast. We'll be right back. Now, masks will be required for those going to Alcella tonight, but let's not take away from the hype. Alcella is back for the first time in 3 years, and an artist at the top of the Billboard charts is headlining. Temple Update's Maggie Perswara joins us now from the Leo Corrs Center. Now, Maggie, we hear there are already people lined up outside for good seats. Spring has sprung, and it seems the April showers came early. Temple Update's Maggie Fitzgerald is live at Charles Library to tell us if we'll need our rain boots all day today. Good morning, Maggie. Thanks, Maggie. Love was in the air in Center City this week as Philadelphians celebrated Valentine's Day. Temple Update's Ryan Tierney spoke with the City of Brotherly Love residents to see if they were hit by Cupid's arrow. A month has passed since Russia launched its invasion of Ukraine, and officials are saying Russia could escalate the conflict. President Biden arrived in Brussels for meetings with NATO and the European Union yesterday as the groups look to coordinate their sanctions and actions against Russia. The EU signed off Tuesday ahead of meetings with Biden and the U.S. on $550 million in military aid for Ukraine. The NATO alliance is meeting in Belgium right now with talks about actions in the coming days. NATO estimates between 7,000 and 15,000 Russian soldiers have been killed in the fighting. The Ukrainian government has not confirmed their military deaths in the past few weeks, but stated as of yesterday over 3,000 civilians have been killed. Most of those deaths are around the city of Mariupol. Students had to bundle up and hold on to their hats this week as temperatures dropped and the wind soared. But luckily, temperatures are warming up today. Temple Update's Maggie Fitzgerald is in the Weather Center to tell us if we need to bring a jacket to Alcella tonight. Maggie? Thanks, Meredith. The Biden administration has extended the deadline to pay back federal student loans through August 31st. The decision to delay comes amid pressure from lawmakers as inflation and gas prices continue to increase. This extension will be the fourth payment postponement the Biden administration put in place since he took office early last year. Russian forces started their new eastern offensive Tuesday morning, looking to secure the more rural and resource-rich areas. Russian forces lined up along a boomerang-shaped front of over 300 miles near the Donbas region of eastern Ukraine. Ukrainian officials have reported heavy Russian bombardment in several eastern cities. The war-torn city of Mariupol passed the deadline for Russia's surrender or die ultimatum. Russian forces are trying to defeat the remaining defenders at a steel plant, but have been unsuccessful. Ukrainian officials estimate around 100,000 people remain trapped in the city. It's been an eventful first few months in office for President Jason Wingard, from navigating a pandemic to addressing heightened safety concerns around campus. Temple Update had a chance to sit down with the president to discuss safety and even his long-term plans. Our very own Meredith Haas was with him Wednesday afternoon for that one-on-one interview. Meredith? Temple University's largest landscape project to date has just been completed. Leocorus Walk South, also nicknamed The Cut, is now open after undergoing renovations since spring of 2020. The $8 million project features a new plaza with upgraded lights and pavements, additional green space, wider seating spaces, and a brand new fountain.
Now that the space is no longer closed off, you can see students making their way to class behind me and enjoying the new seating space.
For some students like Jake Weston, the reopening of Leocorus Walk South has conveniently cut down their travel time to class.
Before it was closed, I kind of had to walk all the way around just to get to class, and now I can just cut through here.
Jake says that he also appreciates the new design changes brought to campus.
I mean, I just think it's beautiful. I think it's a beautiful addition to campus.
Freshman student Radhi Patel says these renovations brought a new hangout spot to campus where students can gather and socialize.
So I think that when it does get warm like today, you might see me sitting on these benches over here.
While some students are enjoying these new changes on campus, others have expressed that they question the necessity of this project.
Recent Temple graduate Danielle Carr says these changes are pricey and needless.
On the fence, I honestly thought it was a little pointless, in my opinion. I feel like originally it was perfectly fine.
Danielle says that the university could instead be redirecting its resources to financially supporting students.
I feel like the money could go towards other things and scholarships for students who maybe can't afford tuition.
Despite mixed opinions, many students can still be seen utilizing the new gathering space at the Walk. Reporting for Temple Update, I'm Haya Qubbaj.